Notts County Talk, back with another match preview for the Kings Lynn game on Tuesday night at 7:45 p.m. Looking forward to this one. There's a little bit of confidence going into this one. You know, positivity as well around the club after the weekend. Obviously, we're into the semi-final of the FA Trophy and that special goal from Eli Sam. So I think he'll be ready to go, and I think it just brings a little bit more positivity around the squad, around the club, because it has been lacking in the last week or so. So I'll hand over to Tom now to players to watch and stats.
This is the first of 3 home games in a row for Notts then. Fingers crossed it does go ahead. I think it probably will. In all fairness, I think Notts need to pick up 9 points from these 3 home games, or an absolute minimum. It's got to be 7. It's a big chance because Torquay aren't playing, so this is one of the games in hand over Torquay. And Kings are not in fantastic form, to say the least, with issues going on off the pitch as well. So Notts currently sit in 7th place, dropped down a bit after the weekend, but we didn't play, so it doesn't really matter too much. 37 points. Kings Lynn are 20th in the league. Only really out of the bottom 3, Weymouth can really catch them now, and Barnet and Dover lagging behind quite a bit. And Kings Lynn sit on 22 points. Kings Lynn have 1 win in the last 6 games, very poor form. Notts have 1 loss in their last 10 in all competitions. So the form is massively different. When the sides met earlier in the season, wasn't too long ago actually, Jake Reeves obviously scored that absolute screamer to win the game 1-0. Notts did not play very well and had to really rely on that wonder goal to actually get them through. So we've got to be hoping for a better performance, but we are at home, and I do feel a lot more confident when Notts are at home. Finally, just to point out that there's no clean sheet in 6 games for Kings Lynn. Now, Notts, we scored a few against Oxford, but we notoriously don't score that many this season, so we're playing a team that struggled to keep that clean sheet. They did defend well against us, in all fairness, at their ground, but you know, we've got to capitalise on a team that can't actually keep the ball out of the net. Now, players to watch out for. We only recently did this preview because obviously the game was 2-3 weeks ago against Kings Lynn. So I'm just going to brush over a couple that I think are going to be really important. The first is Alex Kawomya. I think he came on as a sub against Notts, formerly of Chelsea, Doncaster, Crewe and Chesterfield, where he's joined from. Good player at this level. He could make things happen if he came on, or if he starts and cuts in from the wing. Quick, skillful player. And the final player is Adam Marriott. I've picked him out before. I picked him out in the pre-season run through the league as their key man. 28 goals last season. He's got 6 this season in 19 games. That's not too bad. Due another goal, and I think really, if they're going to hurt us, it's going to be those 2 men that are going to do it.
Right then, players that will not be in contention due to injury, as far as we know. We've obviously got Damien McCrory, who's been out for a while now with a knee injury, but we have seen that he is back in the gym on a video that Notts posted on social media. So, you know, hopefully he'll be back soon to add a bit of depth to the squad. We've obviously got Reeves, who's picked up a slight leg injury, could be out for, you know, a couple of weeks yet, maybe a week, or he could be back. You know, we've not really heard masses of news from him. And we've got Brinley as well, picked up a groin injury. He's going to be out for another few weeks. And we've got Turner, who picked up an injury in the warm-up against Oxford at the weekend. So we've not really heard too much about that one either. So be interested to see how that develops. Cal Roberts, we're hoping that, you know, he's feeling a little bit better after the game time that he did get against Stockport at the weekend. He's a good asset to have. You know, I can't see him really starting, but he's a good player to have on the bench to come on for, you know, 15-20 minutes at the end. A, to bring that little bit of magic that he always brings, and B, just to sort of get that match sharpness back into him in the league. So should be interesting to see how that one develops. And yeah, that's it really for team news. So I'm going to go on to the starting lineup. Now, the first 5 players I think pick themselves. So in goal, Slocum. Good to see him back, I think. Right back, Dion Kelly-Evans. Centre-back, Pearing, gone for Rawlinson and Lacey. They've been really good this season, I want to add. I feel like they've just been really good. Can't really expand too much on that one. Rawlinson, for me, is just the backbone of the squad. He's fantastic. He puts his body on the line, and you know, he's always up for a battle as Rawlinson. Left back, gone for Barnet. Great set piece specialist, and you know, he's not scared to try a shot from distance, is he? As we've seen, so he's a player that, you know, thrives on his confidence. Gone for a 4-2-3-1 again. So sitting in front of the back 4, I've gone for Wolf and Doyle. I think Wolf offers very similar qualities to Reeves. You know, he creates things, he makes things happen going forward, and he's also good defensive. So he's a good young talent. So the two wide men and attacking midfielder, if you will. On the right hand side, I would like to see Jimmy Knowles. On the left hand side, I think you've got to put Eli Sam in there. He's going to be absolutely high on confidence, and he's going to be wanting to get more goals. And I think when you look at his ability his finishing ability, he's probably one of the best finishers in the squad. But because of where he's played, he probably doesn't get as many chances as you would like. Because he's not being played as a striker. He's sort of out wide, isn't he? But I think stick him out there because he did well against Oxford. So hopefully he can just keep going, get some game time together, and he can really show the fans what he's about. In the middle of those two, Ruben Rodriguez. Another great player. Don't really need to go on too much about that one. And up top, as always, Kyle Wharton. He's our soul man, isn't he? He's an absolute fantastic player. Works like no one else on the pitch. So yeah, that is our starting lineup. And my prediction for the game is, I think it's going to be a 2-0 win to Notts. I was going to go 1-0, but I'm feeling a little bit more confident as there's a little bit more positivity around the club now. I'm going Eli Sam to get one, and I'm going Jimmy Knowles to get one. So I'll hand over to Tom for his prediction.
Prediction for the game, I think it's going to be 2-0 Notts. I do not want to regret saying this, but I do think it's going to be a routine game. I think there's issues going off for Kings Lynn. They did get a win a few weeks ago, but in all fairness, they haven't looked like turning around this poor run of form. I think we'll just have too much for them at home. I keep talking that confidence is high after games. I thought confidence would be high before the Chesterfield game with all that went off before that, and it clearly wasn't. But I think we'll just have too much for them. I think we've got Eli Sam, if he does play, who's in fine. He's going to be very confident, isn't he? Knowles will be in fine form as he's played well for the past few weeks. Got his late goal in the last game. Really, I just can't. I don't want to say this. I can't see Notts losing this game. If we do draw, it's a very, very poor result. As I've said, we need to really get 9 points out of 9 in the next 3. Aldershot after this and Halifax after this, all at home, big games. But I'm going 2-0. I'm going Eli Sam to get one, high on confidence, and I'm going Kyle Woodson to get the other.